The galaxy is on the brink of chaos, as the Yizkar Dominion, a highly advanced and ruthless alien empire, begins its campaign of conquest across the stars. With their immense fleet, sophisticated weaponry, and unmatched tactics, the Dominion has already laid waste to countless civilizations. Their military might is so overwhelming that entire planets have been reduced to nothing more than ashes in the wake of their approach. No species, no matter how powerful or technologically advanced, has ever been able to mount any serious resistance to their invasions. The Yizkar believe their rule is inevitable and unchallenged. Their conquest is seen as a matter of time. Humanity, however, remains on the edge of the Dominion's radar. For centuries, Earth and its colonies have remained relatively isolated from the galactic stage, focused on their own growth and survival. But as the Dominion's expansion reaches the outer edges of the galaxy, it is clear that humanity's peaceful existence is under threat. The decision is made by Earth's top military leaders to bolster their defenses, creating the most advanced starship ever constructed by human hands. This vessel, the CSS Dauntless, is designed to be a symbol of humanity's resolve, a last stand against the growing tide of galactic war. The Dauntless is humanity's first true warship, a marvel of engineering and ingenuity. It is equipped with cutting-edge technology, blending advanced human tactics and weaponry with revolutionary new designs that push the boundaries of space travel and combat. Its hull is reinforced with a durable composite material capable of withstanding enormous impacts, and its weapon systems are unlike anything seen before. The ship is also equipped with advanced cloaking devices and tactical AI, making it a formidable force in space battles. The Dauntless represents humanity's first real effort to fight back against an unstoppable empire, but the ship is untested in combat. It is a symbol of hope, but also a vulnerable gamble. As tensions rise, the Dauntless is dispatched on its first mission to intercept a Yizkar fleet that has been attacking a peaceful human colony on the edge of known space. The Dominion's forces have already destroyed countless civilizations, so the human fleet knows it faces an uphill battle. The stakes are enormous, and the outcome uncertain. The human military command knows the Dauntless is their last chance to demonstrate they are not as weak as the Dominion might think. When the Dauntless arrives at the colony, it is confronted by a massive Yizkar fleet. The Dominion's ships are a terrifying sight, sleek, massive, and brimming with advanced weaponry. The human crew, led by the newly appointed Captain Ilera Grant, faces their first true test of battle. Grant, a former combat strategist and veteran of numerous skirmishes, has been hand-picked to lead this operation. She is determined not to let humanity's future fall into the hands of a brutal empire, and she knows the Dauntless must succeed. What follows is an unexpected and intense engagement. The Dauntless, despite its relatively smaller size and inexperience compared to the Dominion's massive warships, fights back with ingenuity and tenacity. Captain Grant's leadership, paired with the ship's advanced weaponry, allows them to outmaneuver the Dominion's fleet in ways they had not anticipated. The human crew, despite their inexperience, employ unconventional tactics, using decoys, feints, and targeted strikes to create confusion among the Yizkar forces. In the end, the battle is far from a complete victory, but the Dauntless manages to force the Yizkar fleet to retreat, saving the colony. The Dominion's forces are temporarily repelled, but this unexpected defeat raises alarms within the Yizkar High Command. They had assumed humanity would be easy prey, but this encounter has shaken their confidence. For the first time, they are forced to consider that there may be something more to humanity than meets the eye. While the Dauntless's crew celebrates a hard-fought victory, they are all too aware that the Dominion's wrath is far from over, and that their battle for survival has only just begun. The unexpected retreat of the Yizkar fleet from the colony battle sends shockwaves through the Dominion's high command. Known for their brutal efficiency and complete dominance, the idea that a single human vessel, CSS Dauntless, could repel their forces is inconceivable. Embarrassed and furious, the Yizkar's supreme strategist, Lord Vekthar, declares humanity a growing threat that must be eliminated. The Dominion begins mobilizing an entire armada, intent on erasing the upstart species from existence before their defiance inspires other civilizations. Meanwhile, back on Earth and across its colonies, the victory of the Dauntless is seen as both a miracle and a warning. Humanity now knows it is firmly in the Dominion's crosshairs. In preparation, the United Earth Coalition authorizes full-scale military mobilization. Though humanity has no empire and far fewer resources than the Dominion, they make up for it with creativity, adaptability, and raw determination. Engineers fast-track the development of new support vessels and weapons based on the data collected during the Dauntless's first engagement. Elite crews are trained in rapid response tactics and unconventional warfare. The Dauntless is quickly repaired and upgraded, becoming the spearhead of Earth's defense. Captain Alara Grant, now a household name and reluctant hero, is promoted to Rear Admiral. But she chooses to remain aboard the Dauntless, believing her place is with the crew that proved humanity can stand toe-to-toe with giants. Grant begins assembling a strike fleet of smaller, faster human ships that can execute hit-and-run attacks against Iskar supply lines and communication hubs. Knowing they cannot win through brute force, Grant adopts asymmetrical warfare as her core strategy: deception, sabotage, and psychological disruption. As the Iskar Armada begins its relentless advance toward Earth, they target human outposts and colonies along the way, expecting quick and easy victories. But instead, they encounter fierce resistance. Human forces, under Grant's coordination, set ambushes in asteroid fields, trigger gravitational traps, and use stealth tech to sow chaos among the Dominion's formations. The Dauntless leads many of these missions directly, striking deep, behind enemy lines and vanishing before a counterattack can form. In one pivotal battle near Proxima Station, a major human refueling and logistics hub, the Dauntless and its strike fleet face a full Iskar battle group. Outnumbered and outgunned, Grant lures the enemy into a densely packed region of space riddled with debris and electromagnetic interference. Using clever decoys and jamming arrays, the humans force the Iskar ships into disarray. A brutal engagement follows, but the Dauntless emerges triumphant after disabling the enemy flagship with a precision torpedo strike through its unshielded ventral exhaust port, a vulnerability identified by Grant's AI analysis team days prior. The victory is costly, but it galvanizes human morale. Across the galaxy, resistance factions and independent worlds take notice. If humanity can fight back and win, maybe others can too. The myth of the Dominion's invincibility is starting to crack, but the Iskar are far from defeated. Lord Vecthar, humiliated again, orders the construction of a new, massive dreadnought specifically designed to destroy the Dauntless. He vows to personally lead the final assault on Earth. As the second act ends, both sides brace for escalation. The Dominion prepares to crush humanity with overwhelming force, while the Dauntless readies for the battle of its life. The reckoning has begun, and humanity won't go quietly into the dark. The tide of war is beginning to shift. After the stunning victories led by the CSS Dauntless, the myth of the Iskar Dominion's invincibility is unraveling. Word spreads across the galaxy, whispers of a lone human vessel defeating fleets that once leveled worlds. For the first time in generations, hope begins to stir among subjugated species. The Dominion, once feared as an unstoppable force, is now seen as vulnerable. And at the heart of this change is humanity, and the legendary ship that defied the stars. The Iskar, reeling from humiliation, intensify their efforts. Supreme Strategist Vecthar tightens his grip on command, determined to reclaim dominance and crush humanity before their defiance inspires a full-scale rebellion. To this end, he unveils his masterpiece, the dreadnought Oblivion, a colossal warship bristling with firepower and outfitted with experimental weaponry designed specifically to destroy the Dauntless. The Dominion believes this will be the turning point. They are wrong. While the Dominion gathers its strength, humanity capitalizes on momentum. Captain Alara Grant, still commanding the Dauntless, begins executing deep penetration raids into Dominion territory. These missions are high-risk, targeting supply lines, command stations, and key communication relays. Grant's philosophy is clear: disrupt, destabilize, and demoralize. Her use of deception, stealth tactics, and rapid strike warfare is unlike anything the Yizkar are prepared for. Each victory, small or large, erodes the Dominion's aura of control. At the same time, political leaders on Earth work to unify a growing resistance across the galaxy. The victories of the Dauntless have become a rallying cry. Formerly neutral species begin to provide aid, intelligence, and even ships. Some enslaved planets openly rebel, emboldened by the cracks appearing in the Dominion's rule. Grant's fleet, once alone, is slowly evolving into a multi-species coalition, unofficial, loosely coordinated but growing in strength and spirit. But the war takes its toll. Human losses mount. Colonies are still under siege, and every victory comes with sacrifice. The Dauntless herself is battered and in constant need of repair. The stress on her crew is relentless. Captain Grant, though stoic, begins to show signs of strain. She knows what's coming. Vekthar will not tolerate this much longer. The final confrontation is drawing near. Then intelligence arrives. The Dominion is planning a massive assault on the Sol system, with Oblivion at its head. This isn't just about defeating Earth. It's about making a public example of humanity to terrify the rest of the galaxy back into submission. The assault will be swift, overwhelming, and merciless. Grant makes a bold decision. Rather than wait for Earth to be attacked, she takes the fight to the Dominion. Infiltrating a high-value sector deep within enemy space, the Dauntless and her allies execute a high-risk operation to destroy one of the Dominion's core production facilities. The operation succeeds, crippling their ability to supply the Oblivion in time for the Earth assault. But the victory comes at a cost. Several human vessels are lost, and the Dauntless sustains critical damage. Back on the Dominion homeworld, Vekthar is furious. His dreadnought is now delayed, his supply line sabotaged, and the galaxy is slipping from his grasp. Infighting breaks out among Dominion generals. Doubts spread. Fear takes root. For the first time, the Yizkar Dominion begins to question whether they can truly win. And for the first time, humanity knows they can. The war has reached its breaking point. The Yizkar Dominion, once feared as an indomitable power, is teetering on the edge of collapse. Their war machine has been bloodied, their supply lines disrupted, and their leadership divided. But Supreme Strategist Vekthar refuses to retreat into obscurity. He knows that unless humanity is crushed decisively, the Dominion's empire will disintegrate under the weight of rebellion and lost fear. His solution is brutal: launch an all-out assault on Earth itself. He intends to annihilate humanity's homeworld and broadcast its destruction across the stars as a warning to all who dare defy Yizkar rule. The core of this final invasion force is Oblivion, the Dominion's titanic dreadnought. Larger than any vessel built by any known species, it is armed with a planet-killing fusion lance and shield systems thought to be impenetrable. Vekthar will lead the assault personally. He views Earth not as a military target, but as the execution chamber of the Yizkar's vengeance. On Earth, panic spreads. The planetary defense systems are formidable, but not designed to hold off a ship like Oblivion, let alone an armada. The United Earth Coalition prepares for the worst, initiating planetary evacuation protocols, mobilizing ground defenses, and broadcasting a desperate plea for aid to the galactic community. But Admiral Alara Grant and the crew of the CSS Dauntless refused to stand by. Though heavily damaged and worn from months of constant warfare, the Dauntless is swiftly refitted. Allies from across the galaxy, rebels, defectors, former slaves, and free species, rally to Earth's call. What was once a lonely human ship now leads a patchwork fleet, united not by politics or territory but by the will to resist tyranny. Knowing they cannot face Oblivion head-on, Grant devises a final gambit. She lures the Dominion fleet into the Helios Expanse, a volatile region of space filled with stellar debris, gravitational anomalies, and solar radiation storms. It's a death trap to most, but a battlefield perfectly suited to Grant's unconventional style of warfare. The trap is sprung. The Dominion fleet enters the Expanse and is immediately harassed by guerrilla strikes, cloaked mines, and false sensor echoes. Grant's coalition fleet, smaller and seemingly disorganized, dances around the behemoth Oblivion, targeting its escort ships and forcing the dreadnought to waste its massive arsenal on phantoms. During the chaos, the Dauntless closes in, exploiting a vulnerability uncovered by an alien defector. Grant aims for a small maintenance port beneath Oblivion's energy reactor. In a daring maneuver, the Dauntless dives through a collapsing gravity well, evades a flurry of fire, and launches a precision warhead directly into the port. The reactor goes critical. In a final blinding flash, Oblivion detonates. The shockwave tears through the Iskar fleet. With their flagship destroyed and their supreme strategist presumed dead, the remaining Dominion forces scatter. Humanity has not just survived, they have won. In the aftermath, the Dominion crumbles. Worlds long held in fear rise up. Former vassals declare independence. And at the center of it all is the battered but unbroken Dauntless, her crew hailed as legends. Humanity, once overlooked and underestimated, has changed the galaxy forever. Because no army could stop the Dominion until they confronted one human vessel.